Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be talking about some audiobooks that I've listened to recently. So recently I haven't been sure what I've been in the mood for, and so I looked through the Audible list of books that were coming out in sort of October, November, and they had on there The Third Girl Online book by Zoe Sugg. And I'd read the first one and it was quite a nice, easy read, and I quite enjoyed the main character. She had a head screwed on for once in a YA book, and I thought, right, well, I'd quite like to read the second one, and I have the second one in physical copy, but I wasn't feeling reading it. Now, what I like about these books is they have little bits of difference in there. They're mainly just general reading books, but there is also, I'm trying to find you a bit to show, text messages, and Penny also writes a blog, so we often get her thoughts on her blog as well. So what I did was I took the opportunity to pick up the Audible audio of this and also of the latest one, which is called Going Solo, and they're both read by Hannah Toynton, who I really like, and I thought, right, I'm going to give them a go. Now, what I really enjoyed about these first in terms of listening to them as audiobooks, because they have got those sort of text messages and blogs in there, I really enjoyed how the audiobook had done that. When there was a text message, it made this sort of sort of sound as if a text message was coming into the phone, and then you heard what the text message was, and then if there was a reply there was a and then you get the next one, and it really worked to help you distinguish that you were listening to what the texts were. And then when you were reading sections of her blog, there was a slight change in the sort of sound of the background sound. It almost had sort of a little echoey sound, so you could tell that something different was happening, and it really shifted you to realise, right, this is her blog, where I mean you would know anyway because she's like, hello readers, but it just helped you to sort of focus out and imagine that this was the blog part of it, which I really enjoyed. And the massive bonus of this, I rated her 5 on Audible. Hannah Toynton is great at voicing these characters. She brings them to life. She just gives them the right feeling and sense that you really feel like Penny is Penny. I don't know, I think she just really got who these characters were, so I really enjoyed that. Now, onto the books themselves. I can't talk too much because obviously if you haven't read the first one, I don't want to spoil you for the second and third. I can't remember what I gave the first one. It might have been 3 or 4 stars, but both the second and third I gave 4 stars, and the reason for that is this story is about a girl called Penny. She's a blogger, and in the first book she meets a boy called Noah, and it's their story, and he is a musician, and we're following that. In these we're following Penny really, and also Noah and some of the other side characters as well, who are really well rounded in this. What I like about Penny as a character is that she isn't a pushover. She isn't the sort of girl that is taking it lying down. She has her issues, and she has anxiety, and she has things going on in her life, but she still doesn't sort of kowtow, and just because she's got anxiety doesn't mean she needs to use people as a crutch, doesn't mean that she needs to be a certain way, and I really found that great. And I really enjoyed her friendships in this. The friendship is the big thing that stands out more than the romance to me. It is a romance book. It's a YA contemporary romancy story, but it's more than that. It's Penny's growing up. It's Penny dealing with things in her life, deciding what she wants to be, and being a real true person. I find these characters very interesting. I find them very realistic. I find that they don't, she's just a strong independent woman, damn it, and I really enjoyed these, and I definitely recommend, if you fancy giving them a go, listening to them on Audible, on audiobook, because they are really good. In a total shift, I have also listened to a bit of a sort of, well, I thought it was going to be a thriller, and that is The Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll, and narrated by Madeline Maybe. Now, I thought this was going to be some sort of murder mystery thriller, and actually it's not. So I don't think it's worth going into this thinking it's going to be a thriller. This is a adult contemporary story with some dramatic elements, I would say, so leading more on the drama side. We're following our main character. She is a journalist and a writer, and we're following her, and she's coming up to her wedding, and we're finding out about her life, and we're sort of flitting between what's happening in the present and flashbacks to what happened to her at school in the past. It's clear that something has happened, something dark has happened in the past. It's clear that there's something going on, some big event happened, people are wanting to interview her, so it's clear there is this backstory, but we don't know what it is. And as the story unravels and the present moves forward, the past moves forward, and we follow that timeline, and it all sort of starts to come together. I liked this, but I went into it with the wrong expectations, because I was expecting it to be a thriller and it wasn't. I really liked how Madeline Mabey narrated this. She's really narrated it really well and gave the characters really good sort of personalities, but yeah, the story for me just was a bit of a letdown. Yeah, so I ended up giving this one 3 stars, and I think it's a shame because it could have been a 4-star read had I gone into it with different expectations. It's a really good look into people's personalities and characters. I didn't like the main character. I didn't like her as a child. I didn't like her as an adult. So I always struggle when I don't struggle if I don't like a character to like the book. What I struggle with is when the character isn't meant to be a horrible character and yet you still don't really like them. Yeah, so I didn't really get on so well with this one. It was good, it was fine, it was, you know, I picked it up and I listened to it and it was easy to listen to, and I don't think I would have got through the book. I think it was good I listened to it as an audiobook, so I'm really pleased with that. So I've had some really good successes in terms of audiobooks recently, and I've definitely found that I'm leaning towards listening to some more YA contemporaries and some more romancy type books on there, and finding that I'm finding they're really good. And I'm also doing this Couch to 5k, which is sort of building up running to a run 5k, which has been really good, but I like to listen to audiobooks when I run. I'm not one of those people that likes to listen to music when I run. For some reason I like an audiobook. It sort of zones me out and I can run and just listen. And so I've really lucked out, and I'm finding that the books, the contemporary and the YA contemporary books are really doing it for me. I'm getting into the story as I'm running, so I'm going to be continuing in those. So anyway, yes, I definitely recommend, especially Girl Online on Tour and Girl Online Going Solo, read by Hannah Toynton. And I suggest if you wanted to try The Luckiest Girl Alive, perhaps trying it on audio might be a good way to go. Anyway, that's it from me, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.